Your dream life is going to require a season of deep focus and more than likely a season of sacrifice. As we're going into the new year, as I'm making New Year's resolutions, one of the things that I'm asking myself is, what do I want my life to look like? And not only what do I want my life to look like, but am I willing to do the work to get there? Because as someone who is ambitious, someone who has huge goals, someone who has a lot of dreams, it's definitely going to take a lot of work to get there. Am I willing to be the person who I need to be? Am I willing to stay disciplined? Am I willing to put in the work and show up, even in the beginning when people aren't really supporting like that? Also, am I willing to show up every day no matter what my mood is, no matter how I'm feeling? These are the things that I'm asking myself as I'm making resolutions this week, as I'm thinking about my goals. Am I willing to do the things that I need to do in order to become the person I need to be to have the life that I desire? This is exactly why I'm making my theme for 2026 discipline. Under the umbrella of discipline, there's definitely going to be other principles like consistency, obedience, focus. But my overarching theme for 2026 is definitely discipline. And I'm not going to lie, the last quarter of 2025 was amazing for me. I feel like I had so many breakthroughs with the goals and the things that I wanted to accomplish. I hit 100,000 followers on TikTok. I started posting more consistently. I'm so grateful that I took the last quarter of the year to really get centered and set myself up for what feels like, in my opinion, success for this year if I'm just able to execute and do the things that I say that I want to do. And I'm not even going to say if, I'm going to say when, because I'm going to just put that out there into the ether, put that out there into the universe. One of the reasons why discipline is my theme for 2026, well, I have a few reasons, but one of the main reasons is because I've literally seen it work in real time. A couple of months ago, I thought to myself, what would happen if I showed up consistently? And I've been saying I wanted to take content creation seriously. What would happen if I just showed up consistently for 30 days on TikTok? And I did a 30-day challenge. Within those 30 days, I grew my following to over 100,000 followers. And because of that, because I applied that principle of being disciplined, I was able to see a tangible result. And that kind of shifted my brain chemistry and gave me a confidence boost walking into 2026 that if I'm just able to stick to something, no matter if it pops off on day 0 or if it pops off on day 2 or if it pops off on day 7 or if it pops off on day 29, if I'm able to just stick to it and see it through, I know that that discipline will be rewarded with success. I've seen it happen time and time again. It's honestly like going to the gym. Like if you go to the gym, depending on what your goals are and depending on why you're going to the gym, you may not see results within that first week. But if you continue to go, you're definitely going to, at some point, if you're disciplined enough to just keep going, you're going to see results at some point. So this is exactly why discipline is my theme for 2026, because this little seed and principle of discipline I'm going to plant in other areas of my life. And it's the perfect time to do so. Beginning of the year, you have that reset energy. And so it's the perfect time to plant those seeds and just to see where I'm at the end of the year, where that discipline, where that consistency, where that focus can take me. Because one of the main lessons that I learned just from that experience and also other experiences in my life, that's not the only experience that I've applied discipline to and seen great results. But just from that experience, I know that consistency will compound. And at a certain point, you're going to get better, you're going to get it right, and it's going to pay off. And so that's exactly what I want to do with my YouTube journey. The main two areas that I want to apply this principle to my life is 1, my finances, and 2, my creativity. One of my goals financially this year is definitely to save a 5-figure emergency fund. My leg just fell asleep. Ugh. I just know that that would do wonders for my nervous system. There are direct correlations between being in debt slash not being financially secure and stress and anxiety. And so I think that that finance goal with the discipline and consistency will do wonders for my nervous system. And I need that. And I know that it all starts with your brain. It all starts with your mindset. That's exactly why I'm naming this podcast Mindset Theory, because it literally all starts here. So welcome to Mindset Theory, where I go over mindset theories from my personal experiences and see how I can apply those principles to my finances, my career, and my life. Because the goal is to build a wealthy life. And not just wealth as in like money, but wealth as in like overall quality of life. I always love the energy that comes with a new year because it just gives me a chance to press the reset button. And sometimes that's needed. That energy is needed. Sometimes we just need to take the lessons that we've learned from the previous year, and hit reset. And since my theme is discipline in all areas, finances, career, mindset, it's going to require me to make some sacrifices, to give up some old habits, to establish some new routines. I'm fully walking into this new year and into this new season, knowing that this is going to be a season of sacrifices. So these are the 10 things that I'm sacrificing in 2026 in order to get ahead of 99% of people. I'm going to take it quarter by quarter and reevaluate how I'm feeling after every quarter. And one of the reasons I'm sharing this is because if you want to do this as well, you can. If not, that's fine too. I'm just sharing my experience and letting you know what I'm doing. The first thing I'm sacrificing is alcohol. I track all of my expenses using my finance tracker. In 2024, I started doing this and I paid off all of my debt and became 100% debt free. Because of that, I track all of my expenses, every single dollar. And it's changing the way I'm spending in 2026. So I say that to say I tracked my expenses in the category drinking and nightlife. And when I shared this on Instagram, some people were actually really surprised at this number and said that it was pretty low. But the average salary in the US is a little bit under 65,000, I believe. So my question to you guys is, how much do y'all make? And what are you guys spending on drinking in nightlife? Because I personally don't think that my number was low. For last year, I spent $1,939 on drinking in nightlife. One of the reasons I'm cutting alcohol for Q1 is, yes, the financial aspect, and it's definitely going to save me so much money. But there's also the mindset aspect of it as well. I have things to do, goals that I want to accomplish, and things that I need to get done. So I honestly don't have time to be feeling super hungover from a night out or super fatigued from drinking all night and then having to spend the entire day recovering. I don't have time for that right now. I have shit to do. So I will be sacrificing alcohol for Q1 in order to get ahead. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to go out. Still going to hang out with friends. I'm still going to have community. And if I do happen to go to a happy hour, go to a party or a club, I'll just have a mocktail. I'm still going to have a good time. I'm not one of those people, and this transition has definitely happened as I've gotten a little bit older, but I'm not one of those people that feels like I need alcohol to have a good time. Whenever I go out now, especially for Q1, now that I'm not drinking, instead of clubbing, I'm gonna call it dancing. Like, I'm gonna go out to dance and have a good time without alcohol. That's gonna be my challenge. And honestly, I saw this article on Instagram the other day talking about how the percentages of alcohol sales have declined because Gen Z is not drinking as much. And I have a couple of theories on that. I definitely think it's because of the financial aspect, it's expensive. And I think that Gen Z is in this period of time where they're trying to figure out their lives. We're running strict programs, but I can get into my theories on that in a whole separate video because that can be a whole video in itself. One of the hardest parts about having resolutions is actually following through with them. This is exactly why I'm not putting the pressure on myself to go the entire year. At the end of Q1, I'm going to see how I'm feeling. And it's honestly one of the reasons why I love January. I love a good challenge, and there's no better time than Q1 to do something like that. My leg fell asleep again. I'm trying to sit like crisscross applesauce, but my leg keeps falling asleep. So the next thing that I'm sacrificing is my feelings. And let me explain, because on the surface level, that kind of sounds kind of crazy. And without context, it can seem a little bit harsh. But what I mean by that is a lot of discipline is about sticking to the plan, even when you're not in the mood. Even if I didn't feel like filming this video, the plan is to post weekly. So it's just something that needs to get done. No matter what my mood is and no matter how I'm feeling, I'm going to be sacrificing that, because if it's something that needs to be done, that's going to push me towards my goals and the life that I desire for myself, it just gotta get done. So that brings me to sacrifice 3, which is posting to TikTok every day. Creating more than I'm consuming is definitely the goal for this year. So if I'm scrolling every day on TikTok, there should be no reason why I'm not creating and putting more content out into the world. That's my theory, and I'm sticking beside that. The goal is to create more than I consume, and I'm consuming TikToks every day. I'm scrolling on TikToks every day. So why am I not posting every day? I've seen in real time that it can be valuable financially and also just sharpening my communication skills. Pull out my phone, record my thoughts about something that's happening in my life. I have so much value and so much insight that I can provide. Why not share that? Why am I holding on to that? I'm currently studying for my GRE exam, so I'm learning 25 words a day. I'm going to share that on TikTok. I am living in LA. I've paid off my debt and now I'm building and working towards an emergency fund. I'm going to share that journey as well. I think that sharing doesn't just have monetary benefits, but it's also valuable as well because there's so many people experiencing the same things that I'm experiencing. The caveat to this is, of course, when you are creating and consuming, your screen time is definitely going to be up. I've noticed that over the last couple of months, my screen time has definitely increased, and that can lead to doom scrolling, which will lead to my brain rotting. However, that is exactly why I am curating my ecosystem carefully so that I'm cautious about the things that I am consuming digitally and also in real life as well. It's also why a lot of my content pillars are like educational and value based content pillars because I want people to leave with something. And that can definitely be entertainment as well because I find joy in that and that's needed. But it's about finding the balance and also sharpening my communication skills while in the process because that is important. Being able to talk about a topic for 20 minutes or being able to talk about something that I'm passionate about for a long period of time is so beneficial, especially if I'm learning about topics that interest me and learning about things that I can speak passionately with someone about. That's so valuable. And I would argue that it's so needed in this economy and state of the world. I look at this as practice for being able to speak with conviction about the things that I'm passionate about and things that I love, and to speak about business and marketing and mindset and finances in a intelligent and helpful way as I'm putting in research to speak about the topics that I'm talking about, which is why the next thing that I'm sacrificing is gossip, drama, and negativity. Unfollowing all of the gossip blogs. I've done this years ago. I haven't followed any of those in like years, but I think that whenever I catch myself like scrolling on TikTok and doom scrolling and find something that I'm just like, why am I reading this headline? This is so negative. Tap the screen and hit not interested. That's what I'm doing. I don't know about you guys, but my not interested feature on TikTok is heavily used. I think that certain things are a distraction, and gossip blogs or like celebrity blogs, like that's definitely a distraction. None of that even matters. I love being that person that when people are telling me about things, when it relates to gossip or like drama or like whatever negativity, I truly, genuinely have no idea what's going on because I don't care. I feel like that's a distraction. I am laser focused on my goals and the things that I want to accomplish, and I don't have the energy for that. So I will not be subscribing. Next thing that I'm sacrificing is overconsumption, mainly financially, but this can definitely apply to other areas like my digital ecosystem, like my spirit. Although I do work in fashion and I do work in entertainment, corporate, and there is a pressure to always look the part, as you should. I think appearance definitely matters when you are Black in a corporate space. Your appearance definitely does matter because people will be judging you, and first impressions are everything. You do want to stand out in that way because that can be helpful to you and your career. I mean, every time I go into the office, I literally get compliments about what I'm wearing. People tell me they love my outfit. People tell me that I'm so well dressed and so put together all the time. And that is definitely on purpose because I know that that comes with its perks. So I don't want to get that misconstrued with me not buying nice things. I'm just not over consuming when it comes to fast fashion or when it comes to things that I don't need. Spending more time focusing on building a capsule wardrobe, have pieces in my closet that I adore and I can wear in multiple different ways for different seasons, and they're going to last me a long time. So I'm sacrificing overconsumption, but it's more so me buying things nice so that I don't have to buy it twice. One. And two, understanding that quality for me is preferred over quantity. I'm definitely not a maximalist anyway. I like things to be minimal and clean, and I don't like a lot of stuff. Digitally, this goes hand in hand with what I was saying about consuming certain news outlets. I definitely know for me personally, things can be a distraction easily. I don't need to know everything that's going on if it's not important. Like, of course, you should know what's going on in the world and politics and those kind of things. But in terms of like the day to day news about what's going on in other people's lives, I'm not over consuming when it comes to that stuff. I don't need to know. I don't care, quite frankly. I'm trying to focus on what I need to focus on, which is me and my well being. And the next thing that I will be sacrificing is my visionary tendencies. I have a tendency to be a visionary, more of a visionary than a creator. And I need to let that go. A visionary, by definition, is someone who focuses on the bigger picture, the possibilities, the ideas. And it's someone that can definitely be a great, amazing strategist and come up with plans and marketing plans and strategy and thinking about the ideas. And that is definitely the trap that I have fallen into in the past, is becoming such a visionary with my ideas. And I want to be more of a creator. A creator, by definition, is more of the doer. They are the person that's making things, that's creating things, that's inventing things. And so I want to have the vision and have the ideas, yes, but I also want to be able to execute. 2026, I'm sacrificing my visionary tendencies. And even if it makes me uncomfortable, even if I don't feel ready, I'm executing and putting out my ideas. I wrote all of these down in no particular order, but now that I'm saying them out loud, they actually are kind of flowing, because my next thing that I'm sacrificing is my comfortability. And that flows directly out of my visionary tendencies, because that's where I'm most comfortable at. I think being the big thinker, being the person with the ideas and the strategy, and not the creator and the person just doing it and just executing and just jumping and just taking the leap of faith. However, 2026, I'm sacrificing my comfortability, because even if it doesn't feel comfortable, even if I'm pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, I think that'll be so helpful to help me grow. This mindset of only existing in my comfort zone is definitely something that has held me back in the past. And so I want to just let go of that. And this applies to other areas of my life and not just creatively, but this can apply to finances as well. It's not that comfortable for me to adjust my expenses and live below my means so that I can save my emergency fund. But because I know it's something that in the long run is going to affect me positively with stress, with anxiety, with my nervous system, I know that it's something that I'm willing to sacrifice for now financially in order to accomplish that goal. And the next thing I'm sacrificing is distractions. Distractions are anything that you're focusing on that is not moving the needle in your favor. Anything or anyone who is distracting me from the goal has to readjust themselves if they want to be within the program that I'm curating right now. Okay, so switching gears a little bit, I know I said 10 sacrifices, but I'm gonna switch up the last two, and I'm gonna talk about a few things that I am not willing to sacrifice, which will tie everything together and still help me to get ahead of 99% of people. So if you wanna do this too, keep listening. One of the things that I will not be sacrificing is community and good friendships. It's like that one Ari Lennox song when she was like, I need people. That's literally my life. I need people. I need like minded individuals around me. I need a support system. I need people that I can also support and pour into as well if my cup is full. I am an Aquarius. I do love my alone time, but I also understand that I need people to fill my cup as well. This includes long-term friendship, new friendships, platonic situations, and even romantic situations as well. But more so platonic, because best friends are literally the new boyfriends, if you haven't heard. And the last thing I will not be sacrificing is my mental health. As I'm getting older, I'm just like, anything that is causing me stress either has to be dealt with or it just has to go. And I'm also in therapy, so that has definitely helped a lot. Shout out to my therapist. Mental health is a huge one for me, especially this year, as I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish. I think I need to make sure that I keep that in check, and I'm going to do that. And also hobbies. I think that when you are sacrificing a lot, doesn't mean that you have to give up everything. You can still have hobbies, you can still have community, you can still have friendships, you can still have love, which is why I think that it's important to add these two at the end of all of the things that I'm willing to sacrifice, because that's important to just keep things flowing. Overall, I think in the past, I've underestimated the power of showing up every day and building something brick by brick. Like I mentioned before in the beginning of this video, consistency definitely will compound. And that's exactly what I want my 2026 to look like. Building the life that I deserve and building the life that I want brick by brick. 2026 is going to feel like kind of studying for a test. You know you have to study. The material is all there. Do you want to pass the test or not? It's up to you. Because if you do, or if I do, I'm going to have to be disciplined and I'm going to have to study, which is just a metaphor for me applying these principles to my life. Otherwise, you're not going to pass the test. It's really that simple. Do you want it or not?